So as I said in the previous video, we're going to risk it for the biscuit. There you go, you can see our trip information over the last 15 minutes. It looks like we're using about 13 litres per 100 k's at the moment. The after start still says 12.4. See our cruising range toward the left at the bottom there? It's got data because it went to 0. We've got no cruising range. Apparently we've used all our fuel and we're out of fuel. So what this little video is going to be, showing you how far you can go. Now Mitch, can you bring the camera over through here just to show them? Okay, hold it there if you can. Yep, try not to angle it down a bit, mate. You haven't got it in there. That's it, just so they can see all the information there. And that is after start 12.4 litres per 100, average speed 109, 4 hours since we switched the engine off. Cruise is still set on whip 115. We're not scared. The fuel light's been on since C Trip A 1050. And it went to 0, dead bang on 1100 k's, 1100.00. Would you believe it? And we've currently got 67 k's left. So we're going to let you know how many litres it takes after pushing it that far. Let's see if we run out of fuel or not. Thanks for your camera work, Mitch. That'll do. So for those that missed the information, the Hilux behind me, Rugged X 2019, we did the same exercise. And he did, I think it was just under 60 k's, and then it took 80 litres, and it's an 80 litre tank, right? So, well, I believe it is, that's what I'm told. I haven't looked at it in the book myself, so you can put in the comments if that's wrong. 2019 Rugged X Hilux and 80. So basically 80 litres, and it was about 56 k's, I think. So let's say once you get to 0, worst case scenario, we're not recommending doing this, but information you might need to know, 50 to 60 kilometres is what you're going to get out of an N80 once it gets to 0. As long as your driving is still consistent. If you start driving in conditions that are going to use more fuel, then it'll be less than that. And of course, if you sort of pack your ducks and you slow down, you might even get a little bit extra. But if you're already packing them before you get to that point, you're not going to be slowing down anymore because you've already slowed down. So it's going to be the same. For us, we sat on 110 highway speed, and that's what it did. It did, like I said, 50 to 60 k's is what you can budget at highway speed 110. Let's see what this Prado does. So far, 20 k's on 0, and we've got 54 k's to go. One thing you might find really interesting in this video is this is a 2022 1GD GX, nice and light, no bull bar, KO2s, right? Not much, nothing on the roof, just the Titan tray and the awning. We've also got a 2013 GX 1KD FTV with over 300,000 kilometres on it, doing the same thing. We both filled up in Katherine. And we're both going to drive to Alice Springs. We're both going to fill up, and I promise if I remember, I'm going to tell you how many litres they both take, so you can work out which one's more efficient. The brand new 1GD with the undersized engine that's overtuned and working hard, or the 1KD 3 litre that's undertuned or sort of tuned just right. So stay tuned. Not sure how much you can see, but 1147, so we've done 47 k's so far. Fuel gauge doesn't appear to have moved. The needle's dead on the bottom empty line, hasn't moved, so we'll continue to see what happens. I've slowed it down to 110 on the cruise control to also demonstrate. It hasn't saved a lot, but we're more like 13s before. Now we're sort of between 11s and 12s, you know. So like I said, this southeast headwind is not really helping the situation. It's not too bad, but it's just enough to upset things a little bit. The hills in the background, McDonnell Ranges, the gap in the middle, straight ahead. That's where Alice Springs is at. Right, so 63, 64 k's down, 10 k's to go. We're in the 100 zone. You're looking at the West McDonnell Ranges, those red hills in the background. You might not see too well, just like you wouldn't see the crack in the hills, but you never know. This video might continue on to the opening going through Alice Springs as well. Let's just see. But the key thing is, let's see if we get to the servo. And I think a lot of people are going to be surprised how much less fuel the 1KD uses compared to the 1GD. And like I said, on the same trip, driven the same 1200 Ks, filled up the same servo, And it's not the first time, it's the usual thing with these vehicles on the trips. Compare it to the 2019 or the 2022. This is why I like the 1KD. Not only is it a much more simple motor without some of the issues like DPFs and stuff like that, timing chains, it's better on fuel economy when you compare same. Now, don't get me wrong, the 1GD can be really good at the slower speeds, 60 to 80k. So if that's what you're doing, you could probably get better out of a 1GD, but smaller engine warms up quicker and it's a little bit more efficient. But as we've said before, there's no replacement for cubic displacement. Here we go. The big Alice Springside weighbridge. Oh, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? There it is. There's the Alice Springside. The gap, well, you can't really see it from here, but there's a gap. There is a gap. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, you can't slow me down. I'm going downhill. The poor car needs help from me. It's telling me it needs me to apply the brakes to slow it down enough. You can't do it enough. Sometimes with the gears in when you got the radar cruise, it just bips at you instead of fixing the speed. Anyway, we're nearly there. We've made it to the 70 zone. Laughing if you made it this far. Flat ground, we can at least push the rest of the way. See, just as we've slowed down in the last few minutes, how it's tapered off and how good the fuel economy is. This is what I'm talking about. The 1GDs are really good at the cruising 60, 70, 80k areas. Look at this, 5, 6, 7 litres per 100 k's once up and running. We're into the 60 zone, and I must tell you, the needle has gone under the empty line. So at the moment, the silver in the middle of the needle is directly underneath the last silver empty line. So most car fuel gauges, including Toyotas, they go a fair way under. So I'm predicting there could still be a few litres of fuel in there. We've done this before. It's in another video. I'm not sure which channel it's on, but that's why you kind of got to be on both channels so you don't miss a lot of this information if you want it, because it's quite surprising for a lot of people, not just how far you can go on zero and how much is still left in the tank, but which engine's more economical. You think the new generation, but no, as I've explained before about the no replacement for cubic displacement. When you make a smaller engine, you've got to tune it to work hard. You know, okay, there's some technology there that helps them more efficient, but it's as simple as that. There's no replacement for cubic displacement. And we've made it in to get our free chocolate bars at the Woolworths, Caltex, EG, whatever. Drum roll, let's see what happens. How many litres? And there's the GX, see? No bull bar, same thing. Okay, there it is, 1172. So fuel light on at 1050, and we've driven 72 Ks on zero on the cruising range, yeah. Let's fill it up. All right, 73 litres, we're about halfway there. 185 bucks, that must mean it's gonna cost me nearly 400 bucks to fill up. Gotta love touring Australia. Okay, like I said, it's not getting any cheaper. $2.49.7, and Alice Springs is one of the cheaper places if you're travelling outside Australia's capital cities. You can see the cost in the litres. You're going to hear the first click. We'll just keep rolling. Must be nearly there. Well, not really. I'm thinking about 145, 146. Well, that click did it. Wow, look at that, see? Keep clicking, so we'll squeeze a bit more. Couldn't fit any more than 143.5 litres. Oh, I missed the click, but I tell you what, look at that, guys. Is that a surprise or what? Only 100 and... What was the other one? 143. 20 litres less from the mighty 1KD. There you go, there's Trip A in the mighty 1KD. They got filled up in Katherine the same time as the other 1GD. That's 9 years newer technology, driven exactly the same in the same convoy, cruising on the same roads at the same time, on the same fuel, without a bull bar, both on KO2s, both same size tyres, both with just a little lift kit, bugger all else. Very fair comparison. As I said, stick with 1KDs, last of the best. Well, you want to have another look? There it is. It's got an awning. It's got the KO2s, right? And here we are, KO2, same size. No smoke and mirrors, mate. We've got the awning there as well, right? Bloody comparison, 20 litres less. Gotta love this 1KD. This is one of the gems, mate. Hasn't been messed with. In case you missed it, there we are, 1172. And when we fill up, we go like that and reset it. And bada bing, bada boom. Wouldn't you know it? Ant said stick with the 1KDs, and if that's not more evidence, I don't know what is. You calculate the fuel saving at $2.50 a litre, 20 litres less. Mitch, are you any good at that?
What?
It's $50, guys. $50 for every 1,000 Ks to run a 1GD, $50 more. All right, so what did we work out all that? Probably a whole heap of information, but the main one is we did 70 odd Ks beyond zero, and we still had 7 litres left in the tank. So that tells us we can do 150 would probably be pushing it, but then you could slow down and easy get 150. See what I mean? We didn't slow down. So for every 10,000 Ks you do in the 1GD, for every 10,000 Ks, costs you $500 more in fuel. If they're set up the same, like these two vehicles are set up very similarly for the things that matter on fuel economy. Okay, what else? So you know what you got left when it says zero. You got heaps. When the fuel light comes on, you probably got 20 litres, right? 1,050 Ks when the fuel light came on, we drove it for 120 Ks, roughly, and it still had 7 litres. You do the maths, you work it out. We've got another video where we pushed the other 2019 out to, we squeezed almost 149 litres into it, 148 point something. Yep, that was very close, but we haven't run out yet. We need to push it further than that, and that's what we do. So we told you about the Hilux, we told you about the 1GD, what you got left, and we've demonstrated the 1KD. Mate, how good is that engine? I love 1KDs. I love that A750 5-speed auto. Manual's all right too, you know, particularly if you don't use it off-road and you do towing and that sort of thing. Anyway, I reckon that's a video. We're heading down towards the gap. In a K or two, we'll be going through the gap, and I think we'll call it a day. We're checking into our caravan park down there. G'day, mate, because that's all the availability. And bada bing, yes, we did book it, but no availability anywhere. Beware when trying to travel Australia, because there's shortages of everything, including people to do anything. So everything is low standard, let's say. It's down there because things aren't clean, things are late, things aren't done, can't get staff. Every single business across Australia, especially all the outback places, remote places, are absolutely struggling for workers. The only businesses that are surviving are people, the owners themselves, working there with the family, whatever help they can get. They're doing it hard, trying to get the job done, so don't expect much. That's a video, guys. Hope you liked it. You know, subscribe, turn the bell on if you haven't already, because I don't know where else you're going to get this genuine information, stuff that you need, factual stuff, none of this rubbish, you know, stickers on the window they put on there to impress you and sell you vehicles, because you've just seen it. Excuse me, you've just seen it. Okay, the 1KD used 20 litres less. Absolutely awesome. Thanks for watching, guys. See you. This is that gap in the hills I was talking about from 10 kilometres away. We're going between it right now. See, it says narrow path. That's the footpath, but it's a narrow path between these big ranges. And there you go. If you want to hear more about that, that's on our other channel, 4 Before Adventures. Catch up.